DLC is going to ruin Nintendo. But before we start talking about how DLC is the devil, please take the time to subscribe and like the video. So last Friday, Nintendo came out with their latest Nintendo Direct, and they showed off a bunch of awesome games. But they also showed some DLC. And Nintendo has not been shy to do DLC in the past. They did it for Mario Kart 8, Breath of the Wild, Smash Bros, Pokemon, but there was something different about the DLC in this Direct. The DLC in this Direct felt very predatory, and now the entire internet is even more mad at Nintendo. So the two DLC in question is the DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza and the DLC that was announced for Pokemon Legends ZA. The issue with the Bonanza DLC is that Bonanza came out 2 months ago, and the DLC is done. It's not like, oh, we're announcing the DLC now, and then in a few months you'll be able to buy it. No, the DLC is being shadow dropped today. And usually it would be kind of cool to get like a shadow drop of a DLC, but Donkey Kong Bonanza literally came out 2 months ago, and it feels like this DLC was just stripped away from the main game and turned to its own separate thing just so we have to pay another $30 for it. And the worst part, the DLC doesn't even look that great. But we've seen this before with other video games where they take a section of the video game out of the final release and then charge you extra for it. I feel like Nintendo is trying to pull the wool over our eyes, and we're just like, no man, we're not gonna fall for it. We know you finished the DLC. We know that you could have just put this in the main game, but no, you wanted extra money. You wanted to gouge us for a little bit more cash, and it's really disgusting, and I for one am not buying the DLC. I hope a lot of you don't buy it either, because I don't want this to be a practice with Nintendo games. I was so happy because it felt like Bonanza was a complete experience. On disc, just finished, you know? That's why I kind of like Mario Odyssey. They didn't add DLC to it. It is just a finished product. And even though I'm not the biggest Tears of the Kingdom fan, I really like that that game is just done. No DLC, nothing. It's just complete, all on cart. You can just play it. Don't have to buy any extras. I love that. I've never been a fan of DLC in video games. I've bought DLC for a few games in my life. Xenoblade Chronicles and Smash Bros, but that's about it. I enjoy buying physical media, and usually DLC is never featured on the cartridge or the disc. Sometimes they do it afterwards, where they have like a Game of the Year edition, which contains all the DLC, like Fallout 3 or Batman Arkham City. But I'm starting to find that they do these complete collections less and less. The best DLC ever was the Torna DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which came on its own disc, and you could just buy that. I loved that. That was such an awesome thing that they did, and I wish they did that for the third game's DLC. But sadly, we've all come to just accept that DLC is part of the video game ecosystem now, and I really wish that we were more against it in the past. I hate buying fighting games now because it feels like you're paying for at least half the roster after the game comes out. You're spending at least another, $50 to $100 just to get all the characters, and then even more money to get all the costumes. Dude, back in my day, you unlocked additional characters by your own skill. You unlocked costumes by just playing the game. And now they've monetized it, and it's just so horrible. I hate it so much. But let's go back to Nintendo and discuss the other DLC that was announced for Pokemon Legends ZA. So Pokemon Legends ZA has not even come out yet. It comes out next month, and they've already announced a DLC. Like, what the hell, man? So I looked back and I checked Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield, and those games had DLC, but their DLC was announced after the games came out. So this just shows me that Game Freak is just filled to the brim with hubris, man. They just know that we will just eat any Pokemon slop that they make. Scarlet and Violet sold so many copies, and they know that no matter how much I complain, or you complain, or even a small subset of people complain, Pokemon will sell, and we can't stop them because a huge amount of players are still going to buy the DLC. So we're kind of trapped. Nintendo has us cornered right now, and it just sucks. There's not much that we can do. A few of us cannot buy the DLC, but there's going to be so many people who buy it, especially for Pokemon. Like, I feel like Pokemon is a lost cause, but I feel like we can make a dent with Donkey Kong. I feel like a lot of people will not buy Donkey Kong, especially with that horrible price point. They're asking $30 for a freaking subpar roguelite minigame. No thanks, dude. Complete waste of money. They were trying to hit me with the nostalgia for DK Isle, and that got me excited, but there's no freaking way I'm paying for that. But all we can do is try our best, guys. If you're against these type of predatory monetizations in your video games, don't buy it. If you're okay with buying the DLC, then do it. I can't stop you. Have a fun time with it. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of fun. I really enjoyed the Smash Bros. DLC, and even I thought that was overpriced. But I really hope that Nintendo won't do this again. Or at least will lie to us, you know? Have the decency to show us the DLC a few months later and be like, oh, we just worked on this, instead of just being like, hey, it was done and you're gonna pay extra for it because we know that you need everything we have. Anyways, guys, that's all I want to say about DLC. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, and maybe one day we'll live in a world where DLC no longer exists, but I'm not counting on it. So let me know what you think about DLC in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Nintendo right now. I'd love to hear it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching and take care.